let me speak some real power to you, right? Because I know that a lot of us go through things, and I know that sometimes some people, they just don't have someone to uplift them and to motivate them, right? And sometimes you're stuck between a rock and a hard place. Sometimes your back is up against the wall. There is a million things, a million ways that can be going on in anybody's life, especially people on this particular social media platform. And a lot of times, people are looking for motivation, they're looking for inspiration, they're looking for hope, because a lot of people find themselves in dark places, and dark places that they didn't necessarily create. Now, just getting away from all of the whole metaphysical thing, excuse me, getting away from the whole metaphysical shit, because sometimes people don't want to hear that, and sometimes they can't even resonate, sometimes they can't even relate, right? So people need somebody to tell them something that's really real. And I want to speak some power to you for real, aside from the metaphysical stuff, because people will tell you, oh, just sit with this and do that, and it's all happening for your good, or for the betterment of you, when there are hundreds of children that are missing at any given time, when sex trafficking is absolutely out of control, right? There are things that need to be addressed that's not being addressed. And sometimes you got to take that in doses. And sometimes, you have to focus on yourself, and then incorporating your spiritual practices, your spiritual discipline, and, being with yourself, and incorporating, of course, the metaphysics. All of these things are so important, especially when we're talking about self-improvement, self-development, growth, and what is going to empower you. But I'm going to tell you something. As I always say, and what I have learned, is self-accountability is going to get you far. If you are in a situation where you can't leave right now, then you should be planning your exit plan, your exit route. Some people don't even open up their mouth and communicate with spirit. Sometimes when you just have a load, and it's heavy, and you can't hold it, and you feel like you're stuck, and your back is up against the wall, and you don't have help, or you don't know how your situation is going to change. Sometimes opening up your mouth and asking the universe for assistance, if you resonate with your spirit guides or angels, asking for help or assistance with that. And if you're in a place where you can't leave, or you feel like you're in a situation where you can't leave, then, making your plan to exit stage left, right? Setting your intentions. If you need help with something that you really can't do on your own, maybe you need resources. Going and asking people for help in the community, there are resources for different things. So believing in the power that you have within yourself, when it's too heavy or it's too much for you to do it by yourself, because we talk about spirituality, and if you are spiritual just like myself, then you ask the Most High for help, and you ask God for assistance, but also using what you can in your community to help you. But as I said, believing in the power that you can do it first, having the mindset that you can do it. A lot of times people are stuck in situations, and they feel stuck in situations where someone has gotten up in here, right? Someone has gotten up in here, or someone has handled you, or someone has brainwashed you, or someone has programmed, someone is programming you, someone is handling you. That's when you need someone to step in, because sometimes, people get tunnel vision, or they just get stuck in the program. They get stuck in the hypnosis. They get stuck in the brainwashing. And then they hear about all the spiritual stuff and all of this metaphysical stuff and people saying stuff that sound good and it looks good because they may have, peaceful days and they show the positive things, or they may have the material things that will validate that. But the person on the other end of that device, they cannot relate. They cannot relate, but then when they turn it off, they don't necessarily have the hope that the person who made whatever content or whatever they were seeing their intention, which was to try to encourage. So what can you literally do, literally, logically, what can you do to change your circumstances, your undesired circumstances? Your unfortunate series of events, the adversities that you may be facing. If you can't do it on your own, it doesn't make you weak to seek help, to ask for help. There are resources in the community. But all in all, it always starts with your mindset and what you believe and think about yourself. Do you actually believe that you have the power to change your circumstances? A lot of people are talking and they're saying a lot of things and they're giving advice, but they're never asking the question, do the person who is receiving this, do they really, 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 really deep down, do you believe that you have the power to change your circumstances? And just the thought alone is a powerful thing. Very empowering. So when we talk about self-accountability and what is going to be very powerful for you, meaning changing your circle, keeping people that are toxic and negative out of your life, putting your foot down in what the young folks say, standing on business, maybe breaking some hearts or hurting some feelings because you are becoming very comfortable with the word no. And that's okay. Sometimes it takes for a person to just done had enough. And if you are that individual who is going through something where you're trying to figure it out, or you have the same undesired events that keep taking place, when you get tired, some things will change. But always remembering that no matter what you go through or what you're facing, the first step to changing something and to seeing change is to believe that you have the power. Do you believe that you're powerful? Do you know that you're powerful? Because we could talk about what we believe all day, but believing and knowing are two different things. So I'm not going to be long-winded. I just wanted to empower someone with, some words of encouragement that is aside from the spiritual and the metaphysical stuff, because that's all cool, fine, and dandy. But, there are people who are experiencing, heaviness and challenges on a daily basis, from someone that may be 100 years old all the way down to, the youngsters, the babies, the babies. And as a matter of fact, there should only be adults that are coming across this content, but still, it's something to, to definitely, take into account. So I hope that, this message reaches someone who can use it. And if you take nothing else from this message, I just want to encourage you to be empowered by practicing empowering yourself by finding and discovering that power somewhere within you. So, much love. Ashe.